Today, Ukraine elite troops found 660 Russian mercenary in bush at combat alert in Soledar. Russian soldiers were recently subjected to drone attacks in Bakhmut as the Ukrainian city remains on the front lines of the war. Last week, the Wagner Group, a private Russian paramilitary company, claimed liberation of Soledar, a salt mining city 9 miles north of Bakhmut. Fighting continues in the area, and the Institute for the Study of War (ISW) published a report that said Russian forces began advancing toward Bakhmut after capturing Soledar. Ukraine continues to deny that Russia has completely captured Soledar, Newsweek previously reported. Ukraine continues to fight back, and the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine shared a Facebook post Tuesday morning accompanied by a video showing a recent drone attack against Russian forces. The attack came from Ukrainian special forces and targeted Russian soldiers hiding in a trench near Bakhmut. A translation of the post said the special forces created hell for the Russian soldiers fighting near Bakhmut. During aerial reconnaissance, our soldiers discovered the trenches of the enemy, already dotted with the corpses of the invaders, the post said, according to a translation. And after a series of attacks by kamikaze drones on their positions, the number of eliminated Russians increased significantly. Chilling music plays in the background of the video, which shows what appears to be Russian soldiers hiding in a trench. Then, the video switches to a view from a kamikaze drone as it locks in on a target in the trench. The view switches again to show a brief explosion in the trench. The process repeats several times before the video ends. The post didn't specify if the drones used were the long-range Switchblade 600 drones recently supplied by the United States. The post also didn't say how many soldiers were killed from the drone attacks. Ukraine recently claimed that its forces have killed 117,000 Russian troops since the start of the war nearly 11 months ago. If the numbers are true, Newsweek reported that more Russians have died in the war than American troops died in World War I. As winter approached, both Russian and Ukrainian forces faced a stalemate in the war. Ukraine initiated strong counter-offensive attacks and regained control of Kherson in November, which Russia had occupied since the start of the war. Battles then shifted to Bakhmut and Soledar as Ukraine awaited more supplies and weapons from the West, and Russia considered the possibility of another mobilization. A friendly fire incident in Ukraine saw Russian soldiers blow up a tank containing Wagner Group members, a leaked call has outlined. Ukraine's military intelligence has intercepted a phone call from the front lines in the ongoing conflict between Russian and Ukrainian troops. The call, which reportedly took place between a Russian soldier and his father, suggests Russian troops accidentally destroyed a tank belonging to Wagner mercenaries in a friendly fire incident. According to the intercepted conversation, the soldier describes chaos on the front lines. The soldier also mentions that Wagner, a private military contractor owned by a close ally of Vladimir Putin, had incurred heavy losses in Ukraine, but the Russian Defense Ministry is not documenting them. The validity of the call could not be verified instantly, but Ukraine has a history of intercepting Russian communications on unprotected channels. Wagner forces are actively engaged in many of the bloodiest battles in eastern Ukraine, with the private contractors plugging the large manpower shortage suffered by the regular Russian military. Recruiting convicts from Russian prisoners has swelled Wagner's ranks in recent months. At this time, the terroristic company has only prisoners as mercenaries who are not professionals. They have no combat experience, actually no experience of holding a weapon at all. Manuelishvili also boasted of recent battlefield victories over Wagner. He told recently the Georgian Legion liquidated a Wagner unit of 16 men. Those guys were in an intelligence unit. The most recent was an 11-man group that was killed by the Georgian Legion. They were also Wagner group, who were also intelligence and planning an attack on the Ukrainian position. It has been reported that Wagner, a Russian private military company, has been recruiting former prisoners to fight in Ukraine. According to the Washington Post, the United States estimates that Wagner has a total of 50,000 troops in Ukraine, with 40,000 of them being convicts recruited from prisons. Other sources also indicate this recruitment of convicts. For instance, one Russian magazine has reported that Wagner is recruiting convicts from inside St. Petersburg prisons, promising them 200,000 rubles, 2,400 pounds for 6 months, and freedom if they survive the conflict.